You know, Rip Bill O'Reilly, a new one.
Oh, that was good. Yep.
No.
Oh man,
Twitch says the title is invalid. Fuck off. I don't care.
Nice, man.
I don't actually ever care to stream to Twitch. I just do it for fun. I bet you that would be absolutely
Oh
hilarious.
no, Bongino don't play around.
Dude, Bongino's a savage.
I know, dude.
A savage. He doesn't play.
That dude's my age. What have I done with my life, man?
Way too many drugs and alcohol. And Bongino went to the gym and got cancer.
Bongino likes comic books too.
I went to the gym and did drugs and alcohol.
Well, see, that might be part of the problem.
Not at the same time.
You can't tell me you weren't. Yeah, I was gonna say you can't tell me you weren't under the influence.
Not before
I
went to the gym. No, because I couldn't get anything done if I did that before I went to the gym. I didn't.
Well, that makes more sense then. I don't know. I had a lady used to take her CBD before she went to the gym, and I knew guys used to smoke before they did gym, but that's probably not all the. That's not getting drunk and going to the gym would be a lot more difficult.
I think French.
Believe it or not, I have done that before. You wouldn't think an alcoholic would do that.
I think the French Olympic athletes all smoke.
Do they? I thought they drug tested for cannabis in the Olympics. Because isn't that what Michael Phelps got in trouble for like a few years back?
It's not performance enhancing. It's like
right.
In fact, it's like performance detriment, man. You think, although I don't know, man, when you're doing like fast skiing, it slows everything down. You're like in the zone, right?
Well, it's also it's a lot of them use it for the anti-inflammatory properties because it really helps with like your swollen muscles afterwards and the soreness and stuff like that too. So
get out of here. Like legitimate reasons. That's legitimate.
You're the scientist, genius. You're the one that's seen all the paperwork.
I'm very much scientist, but I'm just like nobody's smoking weed for legitimate reasons, man. It's like, well, I smoke weed for that. That's like saying you read Playboy for the articles, man.
Nah, don't say that to Madhouse Retro because that man's in so much pain. That's the only way he gets through his day is like that because he's all kinds of messed up too. He's all kinds of messed up. Not cannabis. They just smoke because they're French. There you go. That's true.
The French smoke cigarettes.
That's smoking cigarettes while you're going down on the skis, man.
That would be the best thing ever. All right, so we'll put the BRB screen up, but we'll talk over it if you guys want to. I don't care if you talk over it. Just unmute yourself if you want. But I will give that a couple of minutes until things get started here.
Votre jury.
Kill it if you have to.
Yeah.
Hey, Ryan. Hey, Billy. That hurt.
Derrida.
What the is this?
Watch your profanity.
Right, I'm sorry.
So is it any wonder people are afraid of technology?
Technology!
Miffy. Miffy, come here. Turn off the fan.
How we doing tonight, guys? It's just with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things dirty through a common sense lens. And welcome to Winding Down Wednesdays, boys and girls. That one even in a week that we get together and chit chat about all the crazy things that are going on out there in the world and introduce new guests and new friends. And that's some of the fun stuff that we are going to do this evening, because there was some interesting leaks out there going on out there in the internet this evening. Well, actually, it wasn't even a leak. It was a dig up document from our dear sweet Grum showing some of the interesting things that have been going on out there, and concerning the fact that it's all the way from 2016 and how it simply shows what we're seeing in the modern era constantly. I think it's probably very accurate and very relevant with everything that's going on. And also there's a bunch of Superman set leaks out there. There's a whole lot of opinions as it comes to our dear sweet Clark Kent's hairdo. Plus there's also a bunch of speculation about all the different villains. We get to see a bunch of different people and a bunch of new sets from all of that kind of stuff. I think it's honestly looking good. I know a lot of people have their issues and their doubts and all that kind of stuff, but honestly, from what we've seen so far, as of right now, it's looking good. So there's some very interesting things to go around and chit chat about all of that kind of stuff that we're going to talk about this evening as well. And I do apologize for the disastrous dumpster fire that is the background night while we're all still setting things up and getting moved in. I do appreciate all of you guys helping out with the move and all of that kind of fun stuff tonight. But we have a very special guest, one of our dear Rumble friends out there, somebody that was part of the content creation, or you were part of the, you got into the, what did they call that thing? Was it the creators program?
Partner? Yeah, the partnership program. Yeah, creators program.
Yeah, the creators program. Yeah, which I thought was something that was really awesome that Rumble did. And that's how I ran across you. And obviously with a lot of the rest of the guys like Fuse and everybody that we saw in Vegas, I was like, we need to make more Rumble friends. We need to have more Rumble people hang out. And so I figured this was a great time to spotlight you. So we're going to get into your origin story, what caused you to decide to turn on a camera and play some video games, especially on Rumble of all platforms out there. So I'm super excited to do that. But ladies and gentlemen, let's go around the horn, see what everybody's been up to real quick before we get into our main event, our appetizer for the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll start off with none other than our returning friend, Chrissy from Flip City Magazine. How you doing tonight, Christy? How you doing, darling?
I'm good. Thanks for having me back. I'm excited to be here for my first kicking back and chilling with a guest.
Right. You're not going to be the center of attention tonight. So that'll be kind of nice. You get to chill out and not have to think so much. So yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. That'll work out. How's everything been going for you? I heard you had something cool happen with the magazine.
Very good. That's right. We just put our 21st edition to bed. Our little paper baby went to bed, is at the printer, and should be hitting mailboxes in July.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
It's always it's like giving birth every 3 months, and so I'm getting over my postpartum depression.
I love that. That's the most wonderful description I've ever heard about producing something like that. That is absolutely crazy. Well, speaking of people that produce things, Jason Sandberg, Mr. Jupiter himself, working hard out there, finally out of witness protection and back home safe and sound. How you doing tonight, buddy?
I'm doing good. And Christy, I got a little bit of publishing life hack for you. If you find a typo after some printed, just tell the people it's slang. Yep.
No, actually, what we do is just promise to do better next time.
That works too. Jesse, I continue to be increasingly confused about the physics of lightsabers. Apparently, you can headbutt a lightsaber now. Apparently, so I'm going to try and I don't know if that'll be a topic tonight, but I'm going to try and reset my expectations and try to get myself in tune with these hip youngsters, because apparently you can headbutt a lightsaber. Otherwise, I continue to be working on Jupiter issue 2. Jupiter issue 1 is in demand on Fun My Comic and Indiegogo. I'm inking and coloring. I'm having a great time, so stay tuned for more details. But glad to be here, and curious to learn more about our guest and find out what else everybody's doing this week. So thanks for having me.
Yes, as always. Yeah, and boys and girls, like we always talk about around here, if we're going to roast all the really bad things out there, we also have to be part of the solution as well. And Jason is one of those guys out there that's doing that kind of thing. And then somebody out there that likes to promote a lot of the solutions that are going on out there, occasionally even likes to dress up as the lady of many hair colors, and my foot will never forget your high heel. Tiny but fierce. How are you, my dear?
You're holding on to that like MSK with one of his things. I swear to God.
I mean, like, I'm not kidding. I can feel it in my foot right now.
Oh, come on.
Because it was my right foot. I know, because I can feel it right now.
You know, I'm gonna
next year's Vegas.
Next Vegas, I'm gonna wear nothing but stilettos.
Tell me more.
Tell all the time.
I'm shaking in my boots already. Can't you tell, Tiny?
I'm doing good, or good enough at the very least.
There we go.
Very sad I'm not going to be in Denver this weekend.
Right.
But hoping, putting it out there now that there's a month away, that some people will come to San Diego for Comic-Con.
Well, Gary and Quarterback Garrett are going to be there. Gary and Garrett will be there for sure. I don't know who else is going, but I know Gary's going to be there. So,
cool. Garrett snuck into that like when he had COVID one time.
Yeah,
like
I was like, that was a few years ago.
He's like, he knew he had
3 years ago. Oh my God, that's hilarious. Well, speaking of people that know Garrett, and an interesting story about how we met and all of that panned out, the wonderful and crazy and insane friend of mine that's been here since practically the very beginning of this show. Not only is he full of BS, but he's also got a bachelor's in science. Diesel, what's going on, buddy? Oh, by the way, a total Transformers nerd as well.
Did I cut off Tiny though with my rudeness again? Like, did you have anything else to say? Okay.
No,
cool. That was fortunate.
That is fortunate. How you been, Diesel? How's everything going?
Oh man, oh yeah, man. Like pray for Alex Jones. The InfoWars don't get shut out, man.
Is he still dealing with that nonsense now?
Yeah, he is, man. But according to him, it may possibly be a 60. He the way he was saying it on the half-hour clip I watched yesterday on X, like he was saying maybe like 50-60% chance that it may not be shut down. They may not be able to take InfoWars from, because this whole thing, the whole point of the whole thing is to shut him up and to liquidate his business.
One of the judges is off her rocker and but he's got two judges because those are the two cases, and the one judge is sober and judicious.
Yeah, the federal
the other
judge.
One is, yep.
Well, yeah, the federal judge is actually the same one, and the state judge, which I assume is out of Austin, is
oh God, yeah.
You know, when I say you local Texans know what's up. But,
we know very well.
Looky what came in.
What did you get?
I did not realize. Well, either that or I missed it way back in the day, like 20 years ago, that this cover was a thing, dude. So I got my man Don Figueroa's cover for the first Dreamwave ongoing came in.
Nice.
So I'm gonna get. This is a wraparound cover too, man. So it's got a back to it too. So the whole thing, it's like this, but
nice.
I want to frame it, but I don't want to open it up and flatten out the spine. So I'm just gonna get another one, man, and line them up.
Have you worked up the courage yet to ask?
No, I have not worked up the courage yet. That's what I was gonna say, because I don't know how I can handle rejection if Don says no.
Well, why don't you just stalk him to a con like every other normal person?
He and I went back. Like I messed up, and like this one account is always putting up like his artwork and stuff like that, and I got it wrong one night, man. I happened to glance at it too quickly and didn't look at the hands quick enough, and I was like, "This looks like some more sketchy fig art," and he's like, "Nah, I like that it didn't have the hand vents," and I'm like, "Oh no!" I'm just like, I was like, I put up something Japanese and was like, "I'm disgraced," and had the dude fall on a sword.
You lost like a little bit of cred there, buddy.
Yeah. And then he like put up we went back and forth with gifs. I put a gif of a guy like seppukuing himself. And he put up a gif like judge looks at you judgingly. So I put up a gif of like Mike Tyson said, please, I'm sorry, please forgive me. And then he like put up a gif of hugging, and I put up a gif of hugging. It was funny, man, because like 20 years ago, this came out 20 years ago. If you'd have told me 20 years ago, like I'd be going back and forth with my favorite like artist at the time, like I was saying, before up in the group chat, like I would have, just nerded out, man. But, like,
it's an age of wonders.
It is, man. The internet is be cool for some stuffs.
That is true. That is very true. Well, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, boys and girls, people from galaxies far, far away and near as well. We're going to say hi to you beautiful folks out in the chat real quick. Before we do that, we have a very special guest live from over there on the Rumble side of the house, exclusive to Rumble, a video gamer herself, Mrs. Ma'am. How you doing tonight, darling?
Dude, I'm doing so good. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so hyped.
Ah, good. All right, cool. So as is usual, we're going to start off with your origin story. Like what got you into video games? I mean, you can go back all the way to childhood. I don't care. We got time. It's a 3-hour show. We got plenty of other things. We got plenty of stuff. But go out there, like, why you decided Rumble, what kind of got you into all of that? Because Rumble's kind of a controversial place, some might say. Ooh. So that's kind of an interesting choice for a platform to start off exclusively as, but we absolutely love it. Rumble has been our home base. Rumble was our fallout shelter when everything went sideways. And I've been on Rumble since they still had boxing gloves instead of thumbs up and thumbs down. So like that's how long I've been on Rumble. So before we get into that, give you some time to think about all that, collect your thoughts. We're going to say hi to all of the most important people on this stream, of course, the chat, because we are a completely and totally fan-funded show. I don't make diddly squat off of ad revenue for nothing. So your guys' support is what keeps all of this going. So you guys are the most important. And speaking of most important things, look at that. We got a new follower, Alpha Zero Omega, over on the Rumble side. That's awesome. And of course, speaking of awesome supporters out there, Madhouse Retro says, how are you? I meant, hi, how are you? Of course he did. There we go. Madhouse is already into his evening session. No doubt about that. Jason Sandberg, that's weird. And Shroomcast Win. We gotta coordinate on that. We gotta coordinate. That would definitely have to be a Rumble exclusive, especially if we're gonna take him on stream and all of that kind of stuff. Equal rights and equal lefts. Absolutely, Venus. Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. Venus is always our spicy one. Vince Womack, one of the mod extraordinaires out there, says hi ho to all you nerds and nerdettes. Good to see you, Venus. Good to see you. Good to see you, Vince Womack. And what's it? Madhouse Retro is also one of our subscribers over on Rumble and actually all over the place. Let's see what else we got out here. There he is, the infamous, the evil, and the all-around wonderful Grim, otherwise known as Anvac. Says Rumblebot, the acolyte has failed the Empire and shown itself too weak to be a Sith. A new apprentice is needed. Because yes, boys and girls, you can play with our Rumblebot. Then you will find me someone who can complete the task. Make no mistake, failure will not be tolerated. I love our Rumblebot. And bonus points always go to whoever can decide who the Rumblebot is. And there she is, because she's hanging out in the chat as well. Always appreciate that. Nightwing, what's going on, buddy? This is party time. What's up, Nightwing? Good to see you as well. And I see Jim Bone over on the kick holding things down. Appreciate that, my friend. Let's see who else. Always don't ever want to miss anybody. Parathis, another one of our fine channel supporters and an excellent friend of the Discord out there, busting his butt to work on all of that and making it as wonderful for you guys as possible. So if you guys have any suggestions, complaints, He's both of those. You can praise him and you can send all your complaints towards him as well, because I have no idea I'm doing Discord. But thank you, Parathis. So everybody go join the Discord and appreciate all of his hard work. Appreciate that, buddy. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, Disney lightsabers are now just bad dick jokes are replete. Weave them about pointlessly and occasionally shove it through somebody with no guarantee of result.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, I'll give you one for that one. Yeah, that's very good. I'm really curious to see after that. All I've seen, I haven't even watched the latest episodes. All I've seen is the picture of the girl with 3 lightsabers through her. I'm really curious to see if somehow next week she survives.
Diesel, were you going to interject, Diesel?
Yes, because you said Shroomcast win. Shroomcast never. Never. No.
Me and this other guy on Twitter already decided that we're going to do it together. I don't remember if it was my idea or his idea. I can't remember, but either way, we already agreed that we're going to do it. So I'm a man of my word as much as I possibly can be. So
Shadow Warden, see what you've done there.
Shadow Warden 99, Art Alabama scientist, meth manufacturers, rude by default. Good to see you, Shadow Warden, another one of our fine channel subscribers, and Nightwing as well. He's a good channel subscriber all around the place. Appreciate you so very much on that one. And yes, no, we're not exclusively on Rumble. Mrs. Ma'am is exclusively on Rumble, and the stream will be exclusive to Rumble when it's done as well. YouTube don't get any of the fun replays for stuff like that. Iron Oxide, one of our very fine channel supporters over there on the locals and all over the other places as well. Good to see you, Iron Oxide. You have the link, fool. If you're not busy, it's not like you can't come hang out. Speaking of people that we love to hang out with, Roy Rat, what's up, buddy? Good to see you again, Roy. Always good to see you, buddy. Love it when you make it in. It's good to see Roy in Vegas as well. You guys were blast, absolute blast. WWE Pro and his crew laughing their asses off, hilarious commentators without proper mockery. There was no reason to watch that shit show. Would rather watch that than the CW, hands down. There you go. There you go. All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to let our special guest this evening, none other than Mrs. Ma'am herself, exclusively over there on Rumble, to give us her origin story. Let us know what she's been up to, how she came into being in this crazy little sphere, and what got you into video games. So what have you been up to? What's your superhero origin story, Mrs. Ma'am?
Yeah, so I started playing video games since I was little. I'm talking like probably 4 to 5 years old. Can't even read yet. I was playing Nintendo 64. It was like an Elmo racing game. Like I have like very vivid memory of that being the first like video games my little hands ever did. And I was terrible at it, but I thought it was so much fun. I thought video games were like crazy futuristic, and that that was just like a whole different experience. It took you to a whole different world, and I really liked that part. I was like, let me escape this whole nasty world for this video game world that's so much more cooler than the real world. So like I've just been growing up alongside video games. I had a Game Boy, I had a DS, I had a Wii, then I had all the PlayStations, and then whenever I grew up, I got a job, I got a PC, and every day I'd come home from work and I just play my little video games, And one day, I had heard about Rumble for quite some time through actually, this is gonna sound so fucking lame, but literally Joe Rogan. Like literally Joe Rogan is the reason why I know what Rumble is. And I'm actually very thankful because like I've been on the background of other platforms. I never like, fully put myself like anywhere. I never like even started a stream or like made a full account somewhere just because I was too nervous that like because of the way I choose to speak and some of the things I choose to do that I'm not oblivious to how strict other places are. And I'm a very scared girl. And instead of changing myself to like be somewhere else, I was like, why don't I just be myself over here and I don't have to change a thing? And it's really cool.
Yeah, that's one of the nice parts. I mean, Rumble didn't start out as like a free speech platform. It started out as kind of like a game system is really what it was. It was like a ranking system from different videos. They were kind of making it a little bit different than YouTube. And then after the new owners and the CEOs got over it, they were like, hey, guess what? We've seen how much stuff YouTube has done, how much stuff Twitch has done, how much these other streaming platforms have done to people. I've been nuked. This is technically it's like my 4th or 5th YouTube channel, but it's the second one to get monetized. You know what I mean? So it's like, I've played this game before. I know how dumb and arbitrary the rules are. That's why, like, from the very beginning of this, I always backed up everything to Rumble. I was on Rumble and Odyssey always, like, since I first started doing all this kind of stuff, because I knew how easy it would all go. We've seen how many people would like nuke stuff and like all of that kind of different things. So yeah, I'm very, very grateful for Rumble, and they have been so good to small creators and been so helpful trying to work on things and stuff like that. So, well, so what kind of streaming, what kind of games do you usually do streaming? Because I know I've seen some stuff where you do like VR and a few other things, but like, what are some of your favorite games that you stream on like a regular basis, I guess?
Right now, I'm just now able to get back into VR. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I'm actually like the face of the VR category on Rumble. So like,
no,
Oh, that's really cool.
yes, and
Yeah.
the VR that is personally mine right now, the Oculus 3, was actually paid for a raid that the CEO, Chris, and the head of production, Rick, they came in and they donated like $700 worth of money. So I bought my own VR headset because I had been stealing my boyfriend's, and he also live streamed. So then we'd be arguing all the time, like, no, I'm gonna play VR, like I'm gonna play VR, like no, I'm gonna play VR. So I finally got a VR headset, but then my old computer was trash. It was only ever meant for gaming. I didn't know I was gonna be a live streamer. It wasn't meant for streaming, but it broke on me and it stopped letting me do VR streams. But I just got a new one. And it's so great. I'm so happy to be back with my VR streams, and I love
VR.
Stardew Valley. Those are kind of some of my games. I play a lot of games. I'll play like anything.
VR is sick, dude. Like I played, it's been a few years now, but I played that Walking Dead game with my half brother. He's got a VR setup. I think he's got that same like set that you've got. And man, oh man, when them zombies would come up there and then they'd start biting, man, it literally tricks your brain. If you guys have not played that, Jesse, if you've not played, I'm telling you, dude, it's
Not the zombie one.
Oh, man, that
I know
stuff
what you're talking about, yeah.
dude. That was like one of the first VR games I ever played. So it was just like, here's a nightmare situation here, try this, and it's like when you're like, oh. It tricks your brain into thinking they're biting you or something like that, man. It's it's cool.
Crazy.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, they
The
call
cool
it the
thing I did with VR
feedback.
was during Comic-Con 2019, there was they had a big VR section at the Omni Hotel, and one of the things you could go in, you could put on the headset, and it was being streamed from the Perseverance rover on Mars.
Oh wow.
So you have to put your glasses on, and when you look around, you're not seeing the convention center. You're seeing Mars. You're seeing what Perseverance is seeing. It was amazing.
Wow.
That was so amazing to just be like, oh my God, I'm seeing Mars with my own eyes in a way.
Yeah.
That's just crazy.
That is such a trip. And it's so funny to see how far it's come, because I remember being a kid in the 90s when like the Virtual Boy was like the closest thing we had to VR back then. And that thing was hot. That thing was hot garbage. Okay, it was. It was hot
trash,
garbage.
dude.
I put it on my head at Blockbuster when they had the little trial. Blockbuster. It literally gave me a headache because of like the red lights.
It gave everybody a headache, man. It just turned everything red. It wasn't VR at all.
Well, and I remember going to Vegas in like 5th grade with my aunt and my grandma, and like they had like a big Sega set up in like the MGM Grand, I think they had, and they had one of the ones you could stand inside of with the headsets and little optic things that it would move you around. And this was, I mean, that had to be like, I don't know, like 97, 98 or something like that. But just to see, but then like I put on one of the Oculuses for like the first time, like 6 or 7 years ago or something like that, and I was like, this is crazy how far it's come, because like I'm like I'm just in like the stupid little trial room playing, I'm like throwing the paper airplane, and I'm like, you know, cranking all the other little stuff, and I'm like, this is dope. And so I was like, this is gonna be cool. But it's not. My problem is the technology isn't there yet to be as widely acceptable and accessible as like, say, a gaming PC or a PlayStation or a Switch.
It costs too much right now, man.
Right. Well, and the other problem is they're designing a lot of some of these newer games that would be great third person or would be great first person, but then you see them and you're like, that's meant for an Oculus. That's meant for a VR headset. Like the new Indiana Jones game. If you see the new Indiana Jones game and like the trailers for it, it's obviously meant for VR, which isn't a bad thing, but like like give us a little more heads up that that's obviously what you're trying to gear it towards.
Yeah.
You know, like don't go, well, yeah, this is gonna be great on PlayStation, where you can obviously look at the game and go, okay, you're meant to be doing this in a VR headset.
Hey,
So.
Jason, remember when virtual reality was Lawnmower Man?
I do. I could do you guys one better. I started with the Viewmaster. You know, we had to put the little disc in there.
Oh yeah, we all had those.
That was
dude. I'm older than you, man. I'm like, dang, you inherited some dinosaur DNA or something, man. Did you get? Yeah, man. We used to entertain ourselves with a kaleidoscope, and then you know what? You know, when we needed to balance our stone tablets when we were, you know, like coming back from the grocery store, we used like we used an abacus.
Mm-hmm.
Diesel, doesn't Moses still owe you like 5 shekels or something?
Yeah, I know. That's why he sent he sent Tiny to come get it from him. But like, it ain't happening, man. It ain't happening.
We got the.
I spent all those shekels outside the tabernacle back then.
Diesel, when you got that electric abacus, that was a game changer for you.
I'm telling you, dude, I almost electrocuted myself, dude. We had to hook it up, and it had like this big freaking oh, I'm busted. I done forgot all of the things I was going to use. It was like, what are those things that look like batteries? You know, they're on a circuit
I thought they used to
board.
make batteries out of clay pots back in Egyptian times, right? Didn't they put like mercury and shit in it?
Yeah, it was
That's
like
like
little
yeah.
copper rods that went down there. Yeah,
Yeah, they were able to do
aliens.
gold electroplating.
Wow.
There you go. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. What's up, Barbie Breeden? I think you're over on the Common Gamer channel, but I figured since we had a gamer girl on tonight, I figured we'd throw that one on the gaming channel too. But if you want to come over and jump over onto the other regular YouTube channel, that's where most of the chat is. But good to see you, Barbie. Glad you made it in tonight, darling. Glad you made it in. So Mrs. Ma'am, you said that like you were worried like that some of your hot takes or maybe some of the ways you phrase things and stuff like that. What are some of those things that made you decide that Rumble was a better fit for you versus YouTube or Twitch or something like that? Go ahead and give us some of your hot takes if you don't mind me asking.
Of course. So like I was like a spectator on Rumble before I even decided that like I was going to be like a creator. I was just a viewer of other people, and I was like hearing what they were saying, and out of curiosity, one day I just, looked at the policies and the terms and conditions just out of curiosity, just simply curious, and I read through them, and it's not comparable to like any other platform I've been on. Like I've seen some lame shit. Like I'm talking like, what's it called? Like now I've seen Twitch, I've seen YouTube. Like those ones are basic, but you know what I'm saying? Like the way those platforms like constrict you just to get monetized, just to like make money off of ads. Like, and we're all aware that like, ads isn't even anything, but like you're really going to constrict me just so you can play like a 5-second ad on my video. I don't know.
Was it like gamer words, like lots and lots of gamer words? Because I use those all the time, man.
Are you talking about like what I say that I'm nervous about saying like somewhere else?
Yes.
Yeah,
okay. So like,
sorry, that was
okay. No, you're good.
The only thing they've ever been able to ping me on was some BS nonsense over a guy eating a banana gif. Trust me, I know how to fight the system on YouTube pretty good. So go by all means. I'm not too worried about your hot takes over here.
Honestly, most of like sometimes like I say some ghetto shit or like I say some nasty shit, but like usually it's chat who like will like say some outlandish shit, and because like Rumble chat, they know, they're like, oh, freedom of speech, oh, let's take it to the next level, and then they say some crazy outlandish shit, and that's how like the topic will come up, and then like you know what I'm saying. But like we're also pretty offensive, so I know certain platforms you gotta really be careful, but I can say whatever I want.
Yes, I know. And I think we'll probably do the last hour tonight on Rumble, just as a fun little kick for that as well, just so that way we can go completely and totally off the board, because I think that's going to be pretty wild. I think that would be a lot of fun. So, because that's one of the things. It's like there's so much stuff, whether you're talking about the poke, whether you're talking about the election, whether you're talking about drugs, or any of that kind of stuff. Because I saw some of your pictures from 420, and so it's like it's one of those situations where that's one of my favorite parts, because like Venus will yell at me all the time because I'll do dab streams and stuff like that. He's like, dude, you're on YouTube, you got to put off the camera. I'm like, because I was on Rumble like straight, like nonstop Rumble for like 8 months solid, and it was just like, and I was like, whatever. Oops. Oh well, which is such a dumb hypocrisy too, because they have no problem with you getting blackout drunk on stream and passing out. Yeah, they have no problem with that one. But God forbid you smoke something that's completely and totally legal in your state. So
yeah. That's another big reason too. I didn't know if I was allowed to talk about it, but yeah.
You can totally talk about it. Yeah, no,
it was a bigger thing. I used to like really implement it throughout all my live streams. Like I would do it a lot. Like I've been trying to be a little less now, just because I'm all of a sudden getting scared, but I need to flip it. I need to flip.
Like look, Rumble made you the face of VR chat. They made a pot-spoken video game streamer the face of VR. That's their problem. They made that choice. Don't change being who you are.
One time I got featured and I did like a smoke break during the feature, and I was like, they're gonna take me off, but they left me on. So I was just like, everything I do is like medical. It's like very legal, and like I explain it sometimes, but like I don't even actually need to explain it to anybody. Nah. It's just fine on my platform.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's one of my favorite parts. Yeah, and like I actually in Texas, I have actually my license to manufacture hemp products, and because of all of the derivatives that we can get from hemp now, it's like I don't even need to go anywhere. The United States Postal Service brings this stuff to my front door. God bless America. So yeah, it's pretty dope on all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, so see, there's Madhouse. That's right. Talk about weed. Well, I don't mind if I do. Yeah, Madhouse is another one of our big connoisseurs. Dude. He got me baked as hell during my live stream yesterday morning. He kept sending like direct donations through Cash App. He's like, take another dab. I'm like, I am never gonna. You are so lucky. I've already got like 3 videos ready to go because I was so baked by the end of that stream. It was hilarious. It was hilarious. Yeah, it was a good time. So we have fun with all that kind of stuff around here. We have absolute fun. So feel free to smoke on stream and stuff like that. It doesn't bug me, because even if you do smoke on stream, the only thing they'll do is make it to where you have to be 18 or older to watch it. And it's like, I don't even care. I'm going to unlist this when it's done anyway. So I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. And look at that. Speaking of new followers, look at that. We got another follower on Rumble now. Oh, Barbie Breeden. She joined us over on Rumble as well. That's Barbie from over on the gaming side. Good to see you, Barbie. Thank you very much. No, don't exclude YouTube. You need to be diverse. Inclusivity with equity. Common nerd. Oh, wait. DIE. Fair point. Fuck YouTube. Here. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that. So I'm just waiting for YouTube to get their algorithm, or not YouTube, but Rumble to get their algorithm stuff straightened out. So, because I put all my videos over there, but it's like, stuff doesn't go anywhere very well right now.
It really sucks for videos right now, but they're working on it. They've been everything that they say they work on, actually, it just out of nowhere, they're like, hey, we fixed it, so like we're just waiting. They've been talking about it. Where's it at?
Right. Gifted memberships, all that kind of stuff. Like, I think the emojis are supposed to come to the mobile app by like the end of summer. I think they were saying that's the plan right now. Anyway,
subs this summer, so let's all cross our fingers.
Oh, please, that would be so dope. Yeah, because that's one of the things that everybody loves, that stuff. Because not only do you get to donate to the channel, but you also get to give a gift to the chat, and like you get a double good feeling out of getting to do that kind of stuff. So yeah, that'll be a game changer for over there for all of that kind of stuff. And yeah, I feel that, Venus. I'm a sativa. Excuse me. Sorry. I'm a sativa guy myself as well. So
I'm also a sativa girl.
You didn't eat an entire jar of freaking like.
That was on my birthday stream on the 16th. And yeah, I ate
after about the 12th one.
I ate 28 out of I ate 28 out of 30 gummies, and that was in that jar. And they were like 500 milligrams a piece. Yeah.
Damn pothead.
Yeah, that was a cool day. I made a lot of money that day, so I'm okay with that. It was worth it. I slept real good that night too.
I'm joking, man. You do realize I had to quit smoking pot because I smoked myself retarded, right?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah. That's why we still love you. It's okay. That's why we still love you.
Remember on Half Baked, you have smoked yourself retarded. Yeah, pretty much, man.
I love it. I love
Cautionary tale.
It is. It's very much a cautionary tale. Well, speaking of cautionary tales, boys and girls, let's get into some video game quasi news here, because this, I think, is fascinating. And I had never seen anything like this before. And I don't think most people have seen something like this before, because this is something that I think came out around, and it just shows you kind of the beginnings of where a lot of this stuff all started out that we see in the culture war. Now, Mrs. Ma'am, you're a gamer. I'm sure you let me ask you, how do you prefer your female protagonists? Do you like a square jaw with muscles of a bodybuilder, or would you prefer someone to actually have a little femininity and possibly, I don't know, God forbid, a little bit of sex appeal?
Option number 2 for sure. I be talking shit about the people that they're putting in video games now too, because Fortnite used to have some thick bitches and now they're all flat assed. I want some thick bitches.
Amen, sister. Thank you. Yes, you are in the right spot. You are among friends, I promise you. Oh, hell yeah.
Power Girl's boobs aren't nearly big enough in that first pick.
I agree with you on that one as well.
You guys do know the joke about Power Girl's boob, right? Like when she was being drawn originally.
They intentionally continue to draw them bigger and bigger in every issue, waiting for somebody
to actually say anything.
Yeah, that's what they were waiting for. They were actually waiting to see if the editors would say anything. And then finally they did. And they were like, okay, boys, that's enough. Okay.
That was one of my favorite stories.
Oh, yeah, I love that one too. Comic Relief Crusader. What's up, Mike? Good to see you, buddy. Your boobs. All right, so here's a little bit of the background on this one as well. So this is from our dear sweet Grums. Now, if any of you don't know who Grums is, are you even paying attention at this point? But Grums is an industry insider, ladies and gentlemen. Official Twitter of Mark Kern, CEO and designer, former team lead for OG World of Warcraft, producer Diablo 2, StarCraft, and Chrono Trigger is the best game. And I think that's a very fair assessment. So this is the background on this. Founded. This is the guy that was lauded in 2016 by a DC Comics artist. The literal blueprint every AAA game and comic now uses to defeminize characters. Patient Zero, woke femme design. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's what they've wanted to push. They succeeded, but tanked sales. Now, this is my favorite part. The headline, How to De-Objectify Women, by Renee D. Liz. Now, this was actually posted on Renee's Twitter feed, and then it was collected and reprinted here. So I'm assuming Renee at the time, actually, we do know that Renee was a DC Comics artist at the time. This is one of the people that said this. And this is one of the things I love about this. Now, obviously, we can see all of the obvious problems with this. But the first thing I saw when I saw this picture, I was like, that's what happened to my girl Rogue. My girl was a thick booty bitch, curves in all the right places. And then they gave her this flat sports bra looking fucking tit with this flat ass square chest and this square jaw. It's like exactly what they did.
Uniboob.
The uniboob. Yes, the uniboob. They literally uniboobed my girl Rogue. So I thought this was kind of interesting. I thought this was kind of fitting. So as an artist, what can I consider I want to de-objectify and add power to female characters. Now, this is the full picture here, but listen to some of these reasonings behind it, because this, I think, is when things really, really start to get kind of wild. Because, hold on, let me share this a different way real quick. Because when you go to start reading some of these posts, this is where, and anybody that knows how a lot of this stuff gets pushed through in groups, and especially groups that have done things like this in the past, you'll probably recognize some of these things. Drawing women sexy is an automatic response to many artists, done without thought. I was like that for many years until I recognized it. See, she's enlightened. She's enlightened. She's woken up. She's woke now. If you choose to draw, no, wait. Yeah, I love this though. If you choose to draw women sexy, that's fine. Discussing alternatives and recognizing patterns should not threaten you.
Jesus.
My intent is to help those who want to promote change in their work, which can be challenging, not to shame those who choose otherwise. Oh, fucking really? I got about a decade's worth of evidence that says otherwise.
Hey man, is it time for a colorful metaphor?
Sure.
None of you idiots got that. Anyway, I should have said game word, but hey, I bet Michael Lorber got that.
Yeah, it could be. So I chose Power Girl with boob window because she's often objectified, and to show even she can be drawn differently if an artist considers certain things. Left would be the common expression and eyes. Let's go back to the picture over here, right? The common expression and eyes, right? I don't know, feminine features. Kind of looks like I don't know, maybe 3 people on this panel. Slightly slimmer eyes, a more feminine kind of petite nose, fuller lips, a more shapely mouth. Versus whatever the fuck that demon looking shit is on the right there, where
I have to say, I don't mind her having a bit more musculature defined. But other than that.
Yeah, the stomach looks good, but why'd they make her look like a reptile? That's just terrible. They messed up her nose.
They made her waist. They did something to make the waist nice curved in.
Let's just concentrate on the face right there. Yeah,
it does look like a masculine torso.
Yeah, it does.
Or at least more masculine.
Well, I mean, I couldn't just get past the face. I mean, her mouth looks square. She's got a flat line on the bottom of her jaw. Like, that's kind of odd. And I still don't know what the hell is going on with those eyes. They literally look like something out of like a Demon Slayer anime. Like, this is something you would be slashing with a sword. Okay, this doesn't look like a superhero. But yeah, okay, let's go. Let's carry on with this though too, because they give excuses for a lot of this stuff. So left, the common expression in comics. Eyes are lidded, mouth is pouty. It's a look to promote a sense of sexiness and lessens personality. So
if
apparently,
you're sexy, you don't have a personality?
Apparently, I guess. Yes.
Diesel's like, can I wait till the last hour on Rumble so I can say exactly what I want to and just let all the explicitives fly? Is that what you're asking for right now, Diesel?
I was trying to think of something clever, man, about you can't be like, what was it? Like, you can't be sexy and have or you can't and be, wait, I've already forgotten what it was you said.
Don't worry about it.
My answer was going to be tiny or something like that because it was the exact, but then I ran out of, now I can't even remember you see, kids don't do drugs.
That's right. So on the right, they consider it personality and uniqueness first. Think of the distinct facial features outside the usual. Promote thought in the eyes. What is she thinking of?
Like crazy eyes.
Right?
Yeah, promote thought in the eyes. We can't, because before, to be sexy, you have to have a vapid, expressionless face.
Yeah.
See, man, I'm getting back in there.
There you go. Like this just
like Starfire. Starfire, she never shows any emotion, right?
Not in the least. No, not Starfire.
Starfire's not sexy at all.
She doesn't have a distinct personality in any way, shape, or form. No.
That she wasn't in that show where they race swapped her. Oh, yeah.
Oh, we don't talk about that live action nonsense. Left, commonly taught way to draw breasts or fully separated circles sticking out. The intent is to highlight sex appeal. It's not realistic for a hero. Well, neither is lifting and stopping a train with a single finger, and neither is leaping a tall building in a single bound. Neither is flying. Neither is shooting heat rays out of your eyes. Neither is having invulnerable skin that bullets can't pierce. But needless to say, it's a comic book.
Yes, please give her.
And on top of that, I'm sorry. Look at female bodybuilders. If they still have enough fat to have a nice chest, because the pectorals are so strong and so high, they look like they're beautiful fake breasts. So yeah, you can be a superhero.
That's a lot of them are.
You want and still have a nice rack. It's not that fucking complicated.
Because all their boobs went away from steroids.
Yeah, a lot of them do get fake ones too. That's true. So, but yeah, right. What's realistic for a hero? Now, remember, this is coming from the same people who say realistic and accuse us of it just being a bunch of children's stories for kids. Why do we take it so seriously, right? Because that's always the comment we hear about all of that kind of nonsense, right? Exactly. Athletes need major support, i.e. sports bras, which have a different look. Consider not all heroes have DDs.
But Power Girl does.
Dude, Power Girl's like a 34G. Give me a break now, okay? Like,
no, man, I love it. Did you ever see that animated film where it was like the Superman and Batman say it was World's Finest? And then they had the Asian kid, and the Asian they asked him something, and he goes, "Does Power Girl have dick?" And then somebody cut him off, man. It was great. It was like Kevin Conroy and the dude that did Superman in the animated series together. It's fantastic.
She's not wrong. Heroes don't have DDs. Heroines do.
There you go.
There you go. I love it.
I mean, also, it's not like Kitty Pryde or I'm trying to think of. There have been plenty of females that were drawn during the age when we liked our characters. There were plenty of females who were drawn, and they didn't all have double Ds. There were women given all different shapes and sizes. But they were still attractive.
Faye Valentine does not have double Ds, man.
It's a good point. Arms are closer to supermodel size on the left. What best fits your hero? If she's strong, she's likely very built. Give her muscles. Okay, I'm gonna stop right here. And eventually you're gonna get to see like the 35-minute video I made over this, giving my entire thoughts on every one of these single points. I was just hoping to have my guests and my co-hosts give a few more of their thoughts on every single one of the points. But this one I'm taking for myself here because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to repeat this real quick. Arms are closer to supermodel size on the left. What best fits your hero? If she's strong, she's likely very built. Give her muscles. Here's the problem with that. Supergirl's strength does not depend on her muscles. Nope. Supergirl did not get strong enough to stop a fucking bus, a freight train, and lift a building because she'd been hitting the gym, eating steroids all fucking day long. Wonder Woman cannot stop bullets with her chest because she's been hitting the fucking gym. It's because they have supernatural abilities that are either aliens, blessed by the fucking gods, the children of a god, or they've got some kind of fucking demonic magical powers. That's the fucking reason they can do this! Not because they look like your average bodybuilding female.
Thank you.
And you said demonic magical powers as soon as you said demonic, and you were talking about this, all I could think of was my ex-wife.
Well, I was thinking about like Raven, right? Yeah. Raven.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know, and it's just like that's what's so fucking what
Raven blood.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't make sense. Batman, it makes sense for Batman to be muscular. Dude had to hit the gym. He is peak human, right? He is peak human. Okay, so it makes sense for that. You know what? It doesn't make sense for to have a bunch of muscles. Mr. Fantastic, Reeve Richards, because he's not that. You know, so like they're it's just that oh god that one irritating. Anybody else got any thoughts on that before I get angry again?
I mean, I would say that Diana does spend years training her body and training everything, but no, her powers don't come from her muscles. And depending on your continuity, Kara did get taken to Themyscira to be trained. So, like I said, if you want to give her a little bit more musculature, I don't mind that. But don't take away all the rest of the shit.
Well, and like you can give them definition without giving them biceps that are the size of their head. Because like what's the chick in Masters of the Universe that they did that too? Yeah.
Tila.
Tila. Yeah, Tila. Yeah. They literally gave Tila the body of a man.
Yeah, of course they did, man. But like, do you know Elle McPherson and all them old school like Sports Illustrated models? I just happened to see like an old sports school old school sports. I done got confused thinking about all the boobs that were on that, man. But like, it was like, I saw an old school Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition back when they were like hot chicks on there, man. And all the chicks, it was like Elmy Ferris and Kathy Ireland, and maybe was it the chick that Axl Rose beat up? Her too.
Stephanie Seymour.
Yeah. And they were on the cover. I think it was those three. And they all like work out, man. That's how they look like that. So like
but they
were all supermodels.
Yeah, but they weren't out there doing weight training. You know what I mean?
They weren't shooting up roids and looking like 90s China and had a voice like this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, it's one of them situations. It's like, you know, that's what's so dumb. They can be fit and they can be toned, but yeah, they shouldn't be looking like Bruce. They shouldn't look like being Bruce Banner after he's angry. They
shouldn't like look like Taskmaster before, like, you know, they took the helmet off.
Right.
So these bullet points are an example of someone with a low intellect tries to intellectualize something.
Oh yeah,
and goes through
a condescending attitude.
Well, let Jason go for a second because he's the artist here. You're the comic book creator. You're the artist. What do you think of this kind of bullshit?
Yeah, so you'll notice that this is a string of quibbles, that is missing the whole point. The whole point of they're confusing commercial illustration with comic books, right? So if you're doing commercial illustration, you're whether it be for an advertisement or something like that, you're trying to aim towards realism to the point where someone can have an affinity with the illustration, or they can identify with the illustration. The point of the comic book is to create a visual vocabulary where you're telling a story. And part of that is that in a long shot or a mid shot, you can quickly discern or gestalt a male figure from a female figure, right? And if all the figures look basically androgynous or male, that hampers your ability to tell a story. Then secondarily, you're spot on about the whole fact that the physical build is there either to tell you something about the personality, the posture, the body in motion, and it's not a direct reflection of the physics of whether or not they can like lift a bus or whatever, right? That's completely different. And then also comic books, regardless of the grade of the writing, ultimately they're a populist form of art, a populist form of literature. They're not supposed to be realistic. They're supposed to be enticing and entertaining and escapism. So if you're bringing in this agenda of saying that we want to make these bodies look normal, or we want to not make people self-conscious about their bodies because we can't display an ideal or an idealized form, then you're missing the whole point. Go get a job illustrating Phi Ed textbooks. Don't get into comic books. You're missing the whole point. And I think that can be best be summed up by this person is missing the whole point. And unfortunately, the editors in charge at DC and Marvel took this hook, line, and sinker because it ticked off all the right boxes with regards to their pseudo-Marxism and their deconstructivism.
Marxism.
And I think that's the other thing too, is because the comment I always make, and this is something that I picked up from Glenn Beck years and years ago, we're talking about this kind of stuff, was it's always nudge, shove, shoot, right? Because the whole premise behind this is, well, this is just a suggestion for anybody that might want to do this. You know what I mean? And it's never, and then what we now know what it's turned into now. You know what I mean? It's no longer a suggestion. Like you said, there's literal tick boxes. There are check boxes now for all of this kind of stuff. We've seen the leaked documents from inside of Hollywood. We've seen the leaked stuff from inside of Disney. Like, we know there are check boxes to do all of this kind of nonsense. So yeah. So let's see what we got here too. This one I thought was this one I think is just dumb. Hands on the left are set to promote the sense of softness. It lessens her power. What? But sure hands are set in a way to promote strength. So because she's got both of her fists clenched instead of just one of them, delusional. They're cultists. They're possessed by the spirit of the age. None of this makes any sense. Be sure her hands are set in a way to promote strength. Left, it's common to see the arch and twist in comics. A female arched and twisted to show both cheeks and both boobs. Did anybody ever seen the cover of any Nightwing comic ever? Okay.
And Dick Grayson's still been voted the best ass in DC Comics.
Thank you, Tiny. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Do what?
Twists in the body are a powerful art tool, but stick to what can be realistically done and use arches without intent for boob and butt perk. Wait, stick to what can be realistically done. Tell that to every single cosplayer who has perfectly represented what is on the cover of any one of those comic books.
Yep.
How many She-Hulks have we seen in a bikini doing this number? I mean, we've had one on this channel. We've literally had her on this channel.
Yep.
Hey, I would consider myself somewhat of an expert on what can be realistically done.
I'm not going to ask. On the left, it feels like she's posing. The right feels like she's standing heroically. Make her overall pose functional versus sexually appealing. God forbid. Heels. Modern heels are generally used to amplify stances, increase visual appeal. I like them, but if I were a hero, not too realistic. Most important is, what would your character choose? It's very difficult to hero around in stilettos. Tell that to Stiletto.
I think again, we got to get back to they don't.
I could do cartwheels in 6-inch heels.
Yeah,
I could do multiple cartwheels in a row in 6-inch heels. There's no reason you can't fight somebody in 6-inch heels.
These, unfortunately, these people that are in charge.
I can't do it anymore, but I did it for a long time. Actually, one of my friends, when I was still young and going out and doing things, like if we went out to the club or the bars, I would have to do the cartwheel to prove that I could drive home.
That is awesome.
That's a good DUI check.
Love it.
Yeah,
that is a good check.
That's a good pervert check, man. I would have done that. I'd have been. I don't believe you can drive. I don't believe that. You're still drunk. You've been cartwheels.
I love it. Yep, that's true. The Huntress covers that made back in the day. Yep. Yeah. I mean, like I said, there's an entire comic book superhero that I know that her name is Stiletto. I think it's in the Great American Hero comic. And it's like, that's her whole gimmick. And it's like, that's not even the first time we've necessarily seen that gimmick. We've seen women in past stories use those things as quite literal weapons. Because trust me, anybody that's had their foot stepped on by one.
I knew you were going to say.
You see, and we come full circle here, man.
We always come full circle. So yeah, I like this out. This is hilarious too. Another note on breasts. If your hero has a zipped top, don't unzip it. Breasts can easily fall out during hero work, which would be silly.
Black Cat, anybody?
So,
man, you know how they'd ruin Black Cat if they got a hold of them to go bitty. They ruin it, man. You know, it'd be like it'd be a uniboob and a lid. It'd just be a crime against eyes.
Their fatal conceit, their core mistake is their misunderstanding the difference between realism and dancing on the edge of disbelief. Art and fiction and comics and things like that, the whole point is not to be quote unquote realistic, but is to explore this boundary, this leading edge at which the viewer or the reader or the observer can suspend disbelief and get sucked into an alien world, a crazy adventure, transported back in time, and you're lost. They're misunderstanding that magic trick of art with trying to make it quote unquote realistic, and ultimately they're just being it's just boorish behavior.
Wow.
Leave the realism to Christopher Nolan Batman.
All right, I gotta feed the kids. Everybody have a great
Jason.
week. I'll see you next time. Thank you.
Good to see you, brother. Go find Jupiter up on mycomic.com.
Later, homie.
and this is just one of the things that I want to bring up because of the point we already brought up as well. If nothing else, consider this. Would I do this to a male character? I.e., would you perk out Batman's butt and twist him to see both his pecs? Once again, Nightwing. I have literally seen those covers of Nightwing.
Oh, wait, that's the ass you're talking about. I know what you're talking
ones
about.
In the early 80s when he had the big V-neck that went over to his shoulders. Give me a break.
This is stuff written by people that have never read an actual comic book outside of like what they were forced to do for the job.
Yep. And there's people who don't like that. I mean, as far as I know, they don't like that style of drawing. I mean, I can't imagine what would happen if Aspen Comics tried to come out now with Fathom, with. Like, are you kidding me? These are some of the most beautiful drawn characters ever, in my personal opinion. And yeah, they hate every aspect of it.
Yeah. It's pathetic. It's sad. And I said this earlier. I said, it's just, they want to make the world as ugly as they are on the inside and most likely the outside as well.
Yeah,
because it's like,
about that.
I just touched the tip of the iceberg with this. If you have your own advice, please share it. I'd imagine you try getting touched by a tip. That would probably fix a lot of your problems. I'm just putting that out there. By the way, boys and girls, between all of our platforms this evening, according to StreamYards right now, we have 104 people watching right now.
What is wrong with you people?
Thank you.
Nothing. You're awesome. You didn't know where that one was going, did you?
So if you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button, hit the follow or subscribe button, depending on what platform you're on, and consider becoming a member because we are a fully fan-funded show. It's only $5 a month. If we can get to 100 members across all our platforms at the $5 a month range, we'll be able to keep the lights on around here indefinitely. So definitely consider checking all of that out, boys and girls. I certainly do appreciate it. Rumble probably slipped us onto the front page or something because of what we're doing tonight.
We can all fund Jesse's drug habit.
That's right. No, actually, I told everybody yesterday because Friday they kept me in this chair for 13 and a half hours. Friday.
I offered to come on, bro.
That's crazy.
So I do $5 Fridays, right? And it started out as like a thing, like the chat was just like, well, if I send you some money, will you go a little longer? Will you watch this video? And I was like, all right, well, let's do a thing. I was like, well, we'll do basically like $1 a minute. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. Because then somebody started singing like dollars in at a time. I'm like, wait a minute, that's too much math. We are not gonna be able to keep track of that.
Way too much math, man. I can't do that. I'm smart.
So for every $5 somebody donates, we go another 5 minutes. And you can do the math. We normally do a 2-hour show. I was streaming for 13 and a half hours. That's why I was letting everybody know. Y'all help pay for the move. Like yesterday, you helped me pay off the water bill I had to do to get the water transferred over to the new house. I'm like, you guys are like, literally, like I can show you what I've bought with like the money you guys send me. Wait
a minute. I'm trying to do the math right now. How many fives are in and out?
Yeah.
That's going to be, wait a minute. Oh, 12.
Don't hurt yourself.
So 12 times 13. Right?
I don't know. I didn't do that. I just kept track of how long I had to go for. I wasn't actually trying to tally up how much money I made. But yeah, that's right. Brad, there's only 6 like. Math ain't mathing people. That's right. Math ain't mathing people.
156 bucks.
If Jim Bone says, if you're enjoying this train wreck, please hit the like and subscribe. That's right. This is a train wreck.
Train wreck. Oh, by the way, shout out to Jim Bone for mailing me that free comic book day comic once again. Jim Bone is badass, ladies and gentlemen. I'll fight you if you say otherwise.
No, he's a great dude. He was my Uber in Vegas, so he was very, very kind for all of that kind of stuff. So I mean, I don't know. This is just one of those things. Like this is something that we saw. Like it first initially came out and like 2016 and stuff like that. And you see this everywhere now, right? This has been done to every one of our comics or every one of our female characters. It doesn't matter if it's comic books. It started out in comic books, and we always said a lot of people called us crazy when we said this all started in the comics because they went after the comics first.
Yep.
And then everything else became the domino afterwards. And they equally infested themselves all over the place. They'd been inside of Disney for years. They'd been inside of the video game industry for years. They were all just kind of sitting there percolating until it all became a head. And then they finally got that momentum in 2016 because everybody and their mother lost their mind over a certain orange man who used to be a pop culture icon and rappers used to rap about him. And now all of a sudden he was enemy number one. Yeah, Sunfire. Sunfire. Yeah, I don't know how many times I heard Biggie Smalls rap about how he wanted to be just like Sunfire when he grew up and as rich as Sunfire.
Represent.
Exactly. So like it's one of those things. It's like that gave them the momentum to push that because they thought they had their wind at the back. And now they found out, just like Grum said in this, they succeeded, but they tanked sales because that's why we talk about the pendulum swinging back all the time. That's why I tell people we are winning. Yes, we've lost a lot in the process, and we can all list all of our favorite things that they've touched, just like you never wanted to, show me on the doll where they touched you. That's exactly what they did to all of our IPs, so it's like, let's understand that, yes, we've lost a lot, but it cost them everything to do this. It has cost them their credibility. No one trusts the legacy media anymore. Nobody trusts these major corporations anymore. You're getting the best results from indie studios and single A games and double A games. It's the same thing with comic books. You're getting the best stuff from the independent comic book sphere. What was by far most people, if you saw it and you saw like a bunch of movies last year, what was like most people's number one movie of the year, right? Godzilla -1. Arguably, well, there actually is no argument. It made the most profit out of all movies released in Western civilization last year, hands down. They did that thing on a $15 million budget. Right, where you have the Marvels that they spent $250 million on, and it literally lost them hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office, right? Yep. So there are so many of these signs. Yes, we've lost a lot, but we are winning. And as long as we keep our foot to the pedal, we're going to keep on winning this. And guess what? We're just going to have to find new places for entertainment. Eventually, Superman and Batman are going to be in the public domain. Eventually, all of these characters will. And you'll be able to have good quality stories written by them. Just like we've got a great Nosferatu movie coming out. The trailer looks phenomenal. It's got some incredible actors in it, and guess what? The only reason they're able to do that movie is because Bram Stoker's Dracula is in the public domain. So I think we've got an exciting future ahead of us for a lot of independent movies.
Upon further examination, that's some man shoulders and some man hips. That's a man on the right there, dude.
Well, Jesse, you just made my mom's day because she's constantly telling me that the pendulum is swinging and that just need to it will come back around. I don't always agree with her, so you've just made her very happy.
Well, and I always tell everybody this was the sign that really turned things around for me. Because there was a lot of things that had been going bad for a long time. We were getting disappointed after disappointment, and everything seemed to be like we were going to lose absolutely everything, and there was no light at the end of the tunnel. It was an oncoming train. And I've said this a million times before, and I'll say it until probably the end of this channel, and I die in this chair on a stream. When I saw what happened with ISOM #1 in that first 24 hours and watched that thing cross $1 million in like that first 36 hours, I was like, that's a force they can't stop. That's a tidal wave. If we've got that many people with that much money willing to dump it into one comic from a guy who has never produced anything before. And that is a tidal wave that has continued after campaign, after campaign, after campaign. But when I saw it happen that fast in the beginning, I was like, they've lost. They can't stop us. If we can do something like this on our own, that means we can do movies on our own. That means we can do animation on our own. That means we can do everything on our own. And we've proven that. The Iron Age is real. The Iron Age is here, and the Iron Age is winning. And we've all been part of that, either watching, purchasing, sharing. It's a completely and totally fan-funded movement. And all of the major corporations have ignored their fans. They don't care about us anymore. They're not paying attention to us anymore. And that's why they're losing. And that's why the people that are, God forbid, I know it sounds like such a strange concept, listening to the audience, listening to the customer, the people that actually buy your shit, you become successful. And they can't stop that. They cannot stop that. We are going to win. And I knew it at that very moment because that's a power, that's a force, that's a group of individuals, a fellowship, an amount of money that you can't stop. And guess what? We're uncancelable, bitches. Hell, my ass proved that. Because guess what? I'm still doing this full time, motherfuckers. And you nuked my YouTube channel with over 4,000 subscribers. So eat my ass. You can't stop the signal. I'm going to go get some water. Y'all talk.
Vagabond up in the house.
Well, you know, and
Vagabond.
Jesse made a really good point about appreciating your audience. You are never going to get as much love than from an indie that you supported, and they will absolutely listen to you. One of my favorite things to do is speak directly to our readers, you know, and tell so I can connect directly with them and truly tell them how much we love them for supporting what we're doing. And it's fun, you know. I'd hope that we can get big enough where I can't you know, interact with every single individual subscriber that contacts me, but it's fun for now.
You hope you can get so big that you won't have to speak to me anymore, right?
Exactly. Or come on this lame stream anymore.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. You say that about that, man.
I fucking heard that.
Tell that to them Comicsgate dudes. Oh, nothing. I didn't say nothing.
Yeah, well, see, and that's the thing too. I've been playing catch up because we've been publishing independently. We're now in our fifth and a half year. We're kind of proud of ourselves for doing that without really being part of Comicsgate or Iron Age, and we're just kind of dipping our toe into it and making. I'll tell you, we've made way more friends in kind of the Iron Age circles. It seems like that is a way more supportive community and everything. But I don't have any ill feelings, you know, between Comicsgate or Iron Age, but I know there's a lot of drama going on that I don't need to be any part of.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to implicate you in anything like that. I was tempting to make a lame joke for my homie out in the chat out there.
What's the lame joke?
Just mentioning something about Comicsgate because never mind.
Do they not appreciate their audience?
They are strangely and weirdly obsessed with Eric July for some reason, man. It's weird.
Well, you know, when you run in the circles a little bit, it's hard to like not see what's going on. Oh, which by the way,
I don't even give a shit about Eric July. I'm just like, no, well, I kind of do. I think I like it. I used to listen to his podcast. He's kind of cool, but I'm not like buying his comics or nothing, man. I'm just like, I think it's cool that he's doing what he's doing. But you got these other dudes that like hate him, man. It's weird. It's like ex-girlfriend, like fucking jumping out of the hedges with a machete after you kind of stalking, man. Not that I know anything about that.
It is kind of strange, you know, watching all of this go down on social media, you know, all the hate for Eric July and everything, because I've been watching his stream, you know, since probably 2020. And I was kind of surprised when he jumped into the indie publishing game. And of course, being an indie publisher, you know, I'm sure there's all kinds of emotions all wrapped up with Eric July because I experienced them myself. You know, it's like, oh, this guy, he had a big audience and we've been publishing for this long and we're suppressed, blah, blah, blah. But it's not anything that I'm going to hold against him. It's like, good for you. The way I view it is he did it correctly. He built up his audience and then decided to do something really big and crazy.
He had comic book posters behind him for forever, man. And I listened to enough of his podcast to know that the dude knows comic books backwards and forwards and slantways and sideways and all that kind of stuff. But like,
right. But I am going to take this moment to pitch just real quick, because in volume 21 that is put to bed and coming out, we actually do a Eric July versus Ethan Van Sciver 2-page parody cartoon about
you know what I'm talking. See, you playing it off
hilarious.
You playing it off like you didn't know what I was talking about for a minute there. You damn,
Well,
damn it!
No, no.
Please.
I don't know all the ins and outs and all that, but really, it really kind of there's a general broad
Lord.
story there, and so that's kind of what
Right.
it's about: is them battling
Well,
and getting their nerds to
All them
attack
dudes
each
on
other and
Rogues,
stuff like
all
that.
them
It's
dudes
funny.
on Rogues Gallery fixing to buy your book just for that.
well,
Please do.
this is what I'll say about all of that kind of stuff. Comicsgate, just like the Iron Age, is filled with a bunch of individuals, right? And there are certain individuals in certain segments of the internet that have specific bones of issues, and it's their group that does it. Saying that it's all of Comicsgate is very much an unfair statement, because there are certain segments of Comicsgate that have lost their minds and decided to be nothing more than drama farms. And if that's what they want to do, by all means, have at it. I mean, freaking what's his face? Emergency, not Emergency Awesome. I'm thinking of the guy that offered to host the fight between a couple of our folks in that crazy bitch from Kotaku.
Oh, Keemstar?
Keemstar, right? Keemstar built his entire career on drama farming, right? Okay, so whatever. It's their thing. You want to do that, fine. But don't try to pass yourself off as something else that you're not. And don't try to say that your stuff's all about something else that it's not. And so it's just like, there's a lot of, because I'm a show that promotes independent comic book creators and independent content creation. We've had everything from movie people on here to Jason's a permanent person. I'm like, my platform is open to anybody that's willing to make something independently and not make it all about freaking politics and bullshit. Just make it about good storytelling. And if you want to come over here and promote your shit, I'm open to anybody. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, it's like I don't pay attention to people's drama. I try to ignore it as much as I possibly can and stay the fuck out of it, because I don't care. It's not my monkeys. It's not my circus. You want to go be dumb? Go be dumb. I just ain't gonna watch your shit no more. I'm just not gonna watch your shit anymore. It's that simple.
It's not my monkeys and it's not my circus.
Nope.
You know what's
That is
great
good.
though too? I'm grandfathered in because I met Jesse in Quarter Black Garrett's chat. I banned him from the chat for a little bit. I didn't mean to, but I timed him out, man. I breathed on my old phone and it timed him out while I was in the hospital, man.
Don't try to mod and recover in the hospital at the same time,
dude. It was the phone, man. I was also wasted on what is that stuff that like Rush Limbaugh was hooked on? On? Yeah, I was wasted on that show. I was wasted on that shit in the hospital. Like,
get it, Grim. You're gonna make me do a dab on stream. And as by the way, boys and girls, as always, want to see Nerd get stoned? $20, $50 donations. I'll need an edible. $20 dabs and $5. I'll do a cart hit. So thank you for my channel greaser. Since Grim wants to go and point out that proper bake mode activated, rolling a blunt, whatever.
This is the biggest grift ever, man. Back in the day, I would be like, let me tell you something, man. In the late 90s, you know how hard it was to get high? Dude, we had to go out. You had me out there, the shit. We used to put our lives in danger.
Smoking your Mexican fireweed.
You know what? No, Sonny, let me tell you, back in my day, we didn't have all these fancy things like dispensaries and weed delivery. You had to go find the dirty old pervert that lived on the edge of town that was high on mushrooms all the time and had a couple of plants in his backyard, and you were happy to get what you got.
You shut the fuck up, dude. We had to go find
Listen,
some
Diesel,
sketchy.
I'm on board with you.
We had to go find some sketchy motherfucker and go to the hood and like, oh shit, this is some like Kill Whitey area of town, man. You know what the fuck? And it would be still. We knew we were going to put our lives at risk. We didn't give a shit. We wanted to get high more than that. It was a few hours to get high, and then we'd be paying like so overpriced for a bag that wasn't nothing but some shake and stem and seeds and bullshit. And yeah, here's $50 for that fucking dime bag. Yeah.
It's fucking hilarious.
Oh yeah, you shut up, you motherfucker. You got people paying you to get high. You fucking kids don't know this.
Hey, used to pay me to get other people to get drunk all the time. I'm just applying the same grift to something that doesn't give me a hangover.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. That's bullshit, man. That's bullshit.
I wish I could have got paid to get wasted back in my day.
Are you shitting me?
This is the consequences.
Look, man, are you kidding? You couldn't even explain this to me back in the day, and much less like have it. I'm gonna still been like, wait a minute, people pay you to get high. I don't understand. I don't get it. It's whatever you're saying makes no sense to me. See, because we had to pay to get high and put our lives in jeopardy on the thing to get high, man. Like our drug dealers back in the day weren't no night
in the snow.
I'm telling you,
right.
man, drug dealers back in the day weren't no night.
Sundays.
That way, drug dealers back in the day were some they were some sketchy mofos, dude. Oh boy, people like I'm telling you. And then when you got the weed, they'd be wanting you to hang out with them and hey, get high and hang out with you, and you'd just be like, well, you already paid for this, but like, I don't want to get shot and killed or something, man. I guess I'll hang out for hang out and listen to some story about something. I don't, man. It was, dude. Telling you, man, this shit was rough, dude. I'm telling you, we need to make a sketch about this shit, man. I need to get with Garrett and get him to do some sketches about this on Normal World. How we used to get high back in the day.
This is like, no, I buy my bitches drinks. If I bought you a shot, even on stream, that makes you my bitch. Oh, I love it. Oh, that is fucking great. Y'all
I remember
hilarious.
I bought a girl a drink one time, and then she told me she was married. I'm telling you, dude, I was like right then, like I was like, you better give me my motherfucking money back. I don't play this shit.
But yeah, let's see, where was it? Who did I see? A Vagabond. Speaking of my smoking buddies, that was my partner in crime out there in Vegas. Dude, flammable urban wood shop since it's had its own air vent.
Jesus.
Okay, when I first read that, I thought he said he was smoking lacquer.
That would be bad.
We did that. Hey, we did that too. We didn't smoke it. We were damn sure smoking.
Oh my god. Don't.
And you can get high from that. Know that you almost dying.
Let me tell you what. As a guy who does some of this stuff at a relatively functional level, let me inform you: if it doesn't come out of the ground, if the Lord did not put it in the earth, don't do it. Don't ingest it. I.e., lacquer. I don't care how fun it makes your head feel.
Speaking of which, I think Tiny Mike can appreciate this, but probably not, because I'm sure it doesn't phase her, man. Like what was that bullshit that I had? I took some the bullshit. Oh god, like that. What's that crap that's supposed to be? This is for nerve pain. And they gave it to me, and I was like, this is bullshit. It was like it was like nothing. What was the stuff?
Oh, the gabapentin.
Gabapentin. Yeah, all right. I told the dude, I told the surgeon, because I got my arm surgery scheduled for that shit, so I can feel my fucking hand. I forgot. It'd be nice to be able to feel those fingers. But anyway, he's like, here, try this. This is it's like generic for Lyrica. So I took some of that. Dude, let me tell you something. Like the gabapentin, I didn't feel anything. This made me like the dizzy, and that might make you dizzy, might impair vision and stuff like that. I've always saw those warnings on there as usually like that don't happen. Nah, man, that shit actually happened this time, dude, and in like not in a fun way, like in the I can't read like my vision was so blurry, it was like I couldn't read, dude. And I was like stumbling into walls.
And Lyrica can cause really nasty side effects with your legs, so be careful.
Dragon Slayer commentary is good to see you, buddy. That's a new.
That stuff's awful.
Dragon Slayer commentary is first time I think I've seen you in the chat over here. Good to see you, buddy. So still not as crazy as Atreus telling us on stream that he mistook the smell of his dad cooking crack as food. Oh. Oh, that is great.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was terrible to laugh at. This guy's dad was smoking. He was cooking crack, and thought it was food, because I'm assuming the poor kid was so food deprived that it was like, oh, that's terrible. Why'd I laugh at that? That was awful, man. Sorry,
These
Lord.
just went to a dark place. Madhouse Retro for $5 over on Cash App.
Oh man, lacquer, dude. We used to sniff this stuff. This dude called the juice. It was this. He called it the juice. It was industrial.
So
Like,
can I get to my super chat first?
sorry, man.
Thank you. I know you get excited. I know you go off on tangents. It's okay, buddy. It's
I went down a
okay.
drug tangent.
You did. So Madhouse Retro, this is the cool part about Cash App now. You can actually send like little messages and shit like that now. Says, and this is funny, listening to Diesel rant makes me feel unhinged. Fucking with my brain, man. Anyway, take a hit. Thank you, Madhouse. Appreciate that, buddy.
If I can spread my madness to other people, man, cool. Oh, this dude had industrial like cleaner that he used to get from like this it was like this mill that he worked at, man, and they called it the juice. And these dudes used to sniff it in class until they couldn't feel like their feet. And they'd all be sitting in class and like they'd all like black out in English class, man. It was funny. Like, yeah, they were like close to death. High school.
All right. Well, we've got something else that's pretty funny, boys and girls, or at least that's what a lot of people out there on the internet think, because we've got some leaked photos. Because if you hadn't already heard, James Gunn's Superman movie is currently filming in Cleveland, Ohio, buddy boy. And we've gotten a lot of set leaks. If you pay attention to any of the DC updates, Twitter accounts, or any of that kind of stuff, you'll see a lot of those. We've seen some really cool pictures. We've seen our first look at Lois Lane as to what she looks like, which, of course, has that very beautiful actress who they've cast as that one. Like I've been telling everybody for a long time, I'm happy with the casting. We'll have to wait and see if James Gunn can actually pull off a Superman script or not. But as of right now, I'm just going to stick with cautiously optimistic. So far, so good. But I know there's been some controversy over the Superman suit. I know a few people had some issues with that. But ladies and gentlemen, the thing that has caused everybody to have an absolute stir today is our first look at Clark Kent's hair. And
Llama.
it's causing I've heard llama, I've heard broccoli, I've heard
Jufro.
quite a few things. Jufro. Oh crap! I didn't hear.
Best one.
Tiny,
You've never heard that?
well, is that something you're hearing in your Jewish circles? Is anybody saying that?
It's something I've heard my whole life.
What?
Well, I've heard of Jufro before. I just didn't hear this particular haircut referred to as a Jufro. But
Well, no, normally it gets a little bit fuzzier and a little bit farther
Right.
out with the curls, but that's the basis of what becomes a Jufro.
Oh yeah, man. I've actually heard that.
I have heard the term before. Yeah, absolutely.
But which is ironic since I got dogpiled on Twitter months and months ago because when Corn Sweat got cast, there was this really weird group of people on Twitter going, "Oh my God, now we have a Jewish Superman!" And I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I was like, "He's Jewish." I'm like, "Okay, so you have a Jewish actor playing Superman. You don't have a Jewish Superman." They're like, "You don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, "Is he gonna wear pants? Is he gonna have a kippah? Are we gonna watch him put on tefillin?" No, none of those things are gonna happen. So Superman isn't suddenly Jewish now. Just the guy playing him is. And now he is a Jufro, so I was wrong the whole time.
That's the biggest L for Tiny.
That she was wrong. That all those people out there giving her crap saying we finally got our first.
The best part of all of that was, according to the people who disagreed with me, I was by definition a straight white male boomer.
Who, you?
Makes total sense.
Yeah, me.
Yeah. The 5'1" Jew in a wheelchair.
Yep.
Is a straight white male boomer. Yeah.
Because I said
that
that it wasn't giving it whatever.
Hey, have you ever seen the Family Guy where Optimus Prime is Jewish?
I think I actually did see
No, I did not.
Oh no! We're gonna have to watch that.
So, but needless to say, it's kind of funny to see some of the reactions, I think, more than anything else. Me personally, if this is your biggest complaint you have about the Superman movie, I think we're probably doing okay. Yeah. But I thought it was pretty funny. Yeah, Clark can't be bussing for real, no cap. Yeah, I hate it. Looks like when The Rock played the Tooth Fairy, thought that was actually a fair burn. He has the Meet Me at McDonald's haircut. So apparently this is a haircut that's like popular on TikTok or some shit with the new kids. I don't fucking know. I don't know. I heard a bunch of yeah, they like their hair. Bro gave him the 18-year-old TikTok broccoli cut. I have no idea. But that's what they're calling it. And this is my favorite though, because Giorgio, I never can say his last name properly. But the Ancient Aliens guys, right? It's aliens. So now Clark. Okay, thank you. Oh, thank you. So now Clark Kent also coifs and styles his hair while changing into his new bulky, ill-fitting suit. Not an easy task, frankly. Sign someone who knows about his hair. So I just thought that was funny. The alpaca pictures were pretty cute. But Tom Connors, Nina Infinity's like, what is with that hair? Our dear sweet Nina. Mags, love our Magic Mags.
Right.
Yeah. Mags is a savage. Mags is I love Mags. Need to have her back on the show. Haven't seen her. I haven't got to chit chat with her in a while. But yeah, Mags is a savage. Vox, I don't know who that is. He's like, no broccoli cut. And yeah, why is there a treble on his head? I thought that was clever. At least that was clever. I liked that. So yeah, obviously you can go back and look at like kind of what the classic Clark Kent had from the past and stuff like that. One of the things that I did think though, when I saw the haircut was, and this was something as I was kind of talking to the chat about it during the day show, was this kind of felt like to me, at least in this picture, like in what we can see, because this is what his hair looks like when he's Superman, right? The traditional kind of look. He's even got the widow's peak going for him and everything else. This is a really cute video of Superman obviously having to save a cat from a tree. I'd imagine that's probably what this scene is going to end up being. He's going to be very frustrated with a pussy that he can't get out of a tree. Like all of us men have been there before. We all know how that feels. But when I saw the picture initially, kind of what I was thinking was if you shave the side of his head, it kind of reminded me of what the hair from Superboy, like post Death of Superman had back in like the 90s and stuff like that. So I don't know. Does anybody have any particular, what is everybody's opinion of outside of our dear sweet Tiny's Jewfro? Does anybody really care? Is this going to be a deal breaker for you? Does this just look dumb because it's not accurate to the comics? Like, let me know what everybody thinks. Feel free. Good to see you, Mouse.
I think it looks dumb. That's it. It just looks dumb.
Well, I mean,
this one looks dumb. The other one looked fine, but this one looks dumb.
They said that they were going to bring back the curl, the widow's peak with the curl. And they sort of do when he's in the Superman costume, but then he's not supposed to have the curl when he's Clark Kent. And so instead of giving him not a curl, they gave him like 60 curls.
Yeah. They gave him a whole head of curls. So, yeah. I don't know. We'll see what happens when it all comes out. We'll see kind of what happens.
I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm willing to try to be open-minded as much as possible. But everybody who knows me knows that I was waiting for Henry Cavill to get the bright suit and have the hair, like everything from the end of
Black Adam.
Yeah, that scene in Black Adam that was just so amazing. And I have nothing against this dude, and I hope he does well, and I hope I enjoy it. But he's got such big fucking boots to fill.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I kind of liked from him on this too was it was funny because there was a point where somebody asked him, like, what's your dream role? And I think this was back in 2015 or something like that. And he was like, I'd love to play Superman, but obviously that role was taken by Henry Cavill. So I don't know what else I would like to do. And it was just because he's like, I always thought about that as a kid, and there's some really cute. And I mean, I think probably every boy in America can probably find a picture of them at one point or another. Their mom dressed them up in a Superman t-shirt at one point or another. But I just thought it was, I just thought it was kind of cool. I thought it was cute. So I'm absolutely willing to get. Oh, look, hey, there's DCU updates. There's George's comment right there. But it's just, like I said, if that's your biggest complaint, I think we're okay. I can understand why a lot of people have issues with some of the costume choices, and things like that.
That's not a great shot. That's not a great shot of the costume.
No. And I think it's going to be one of those situations. It'll see what it ends up looking like when it's a finished product. I will know when that first trailer drops, which I'd imagine we're probably going to get early next year. So, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens with all of that. I just thought it was funny because, like I said, everybody was talking about it today. Like, oh my God, broccoli hair. And I'm like I said, oh, that works then. But yeah, I don't know. There was somebody made a comment today I thought was kind of funny too. They were talking about like, no, it's Henry. He's just going to slick it back with super speed while he's putting on the costume. Not that big a deal. not that big a deal. So yeah. Oh well, boys and girls. Let's see. Mrs. Ma'am, are you an anime fan at all, or are you strictly a video gamer?
Whenever I was younger, I used to really fuck with some anime. Like, and
Yeah.
whenever I say some, I feel so cringe because it's like the fucking basic ones, like fucking Sailor Moon and Death Note. Like, that's literally it. There was a couple other ones I already forgot the name, but yeah.
Well, you weren't too basic because you didn't say like Dragon Ball Z, because that's always like the most basic one. That
My
everybody
brother
says.
watched that. I didn't pay
Or
much
Naruto,
attention.
where most people entrance.
Oh, that's a
Well-
generational difference if it's Naruto.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. But no, I thought some of the casting announcements we had for One Piece today looked pretty cool. Well, yesterday and today both. So you know what, Tiny, we'll bring that up because I know you were excited about that earlier. Let's bring that up too, because some of that stuff's pretty neat. Because we've got, and I don't like this article. There's actually a picture on Twitter that I bookmarked that I like better that I'll find. But we've got some of this stuff. We got a couple more announcements today from all of that as well, and I'll share a window because I'm going to find the other pictures. But this is who we've got. So yesterday we got Baroque Works. We got those folks announced. And that was pretty cool because I think the characters for that are pretty good for all of that kind of thing, and too, especially who we've got cast Mr. 3. And for anybody that didn't see it and obviously hasn't seen my video that I put out yet because all the weird things that happened with Rumble yesterday and all the fun little updates made it to where I haven't got a chance to download the stream. I just now downloaded the stream from yesterday. So, but this is what we've got here. So this is the new cast members for One Piece Season 2. We've got Werner Coates as Dory, Brendan Murray as Broggy, and Clive Russell as Crocus. Now, outside of Clive Russell, I really don't know these other two guys at all. I love Clive Russell. I think he plays a very good cranky old man and a few other things like that. But I mean, this is who we've got for some of our next folks. Tiny, you got some thoughts and opinions on this one?
Crocus is a grumpy old man. That is exactly who he's supposed to be. He's a doctor who lives inside of a whale and is trying to keep it alive and healthy as long as possible. Dory and Broggy they used to be the captains of the giant pirates. They were co-captains. And then one tiny little human girl did a stupid thing when they went out and caught sea kings. And I said, which one was bigger? And suddenly, for the next 100 years, these idiots go to battle each other on an island nonstop to figure out which one of them is stronger or better than the other. Except, of course, they're perfectly even. They're really, really fun characters. You have to be able to have a certain amount of gravitas. I mean, I know they're also going to make them huge because they're giants, but I really think the personality of the actors go through. And I've actually seen both of those actors in things. They were small parts, but I've seen them, and I think that they can pull it off. I'm really excited to see what they do with the giants. And Dory and Broggy, Little Garden, and their whole thing, a lot of people forget about it. They don't think about it that much. But when you get really into the manga or later into the anime, you find out there's all sorts of things that will happen in Little Garden that actually lead to every other thing happening, or a lot of other things happening and making a difference. So
globally on top of that.
Yeah.
So,
and,
yeah.
I haven't heard that they're actually going to do Whiskey Peak as Whiskey Peak. Has anybody heard anything about that?
We haven't heard squat as far as storyline, as far as I know, what exactly they're going to cover. Now, obviously, considering some of the characters that we've had cast and officially announced, it's going to give us some idea of where they're going to go. But as far as specific things, I haven't heard anything officially for it yet. So
I actually really love the guy that got to play Mr. Five. Just his facial expression just looks like Mr. Five from the anime so much.
Yeah, I was thinking that same thing when I saw him as well. I was like, oh yeah, he's got that stoic kind of stone face look that you kind of need for Mr. Five, for him to kind of say a lot of things and be able to present that well. And then, I mean, the guy they've got cast,
he kills people with exploding snot.
So nasty. That's so nasty. Well, it's just exploding like
he can make
liquids from his body, right? He can use his spit.
from his body
Yeah,
into a bomb.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
He's
It's
an
not,
asshole who
he
like
likes
sticks his nose and
uses-
flicks the boogers at people and they explode and die.
Yeah, it's fucking nasty. It's fucking nasty.
Well, I mean, so there are some devil fruit and some characters that are so obviously drawn that Oda had ideas for them, but he created them when One Piece was still majority for shonen and young shonen, because that's the character. Like a 12-year-old's gonna love that character.
Yeah, I think it's gonna absolutely hilarious to flick his burgers on people and have them blow up.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
Yeah, that makes
get-
total sense.
There's so much foreshadowing you don't realize in One Piece in the beginning.
Yeah.
And there's so many characters that you can tell that Oda knew their whole backstory, but he had to put them in a certain way early on. He didn't know how long he was going to get to. He was hoping One Piece would last 5 years.
And here we are 2 decades later.
2.5.
2.5 decades, yeah, 25 years later.
Yep,
So,
25 years later. And now you see like there are similar characters to like their importance in the story, but they're much more mature characters, generally speaking. But he never forgets that this was originally for shonen, and there's always something fun with everybody. And I'm just so excited. And it's funny because like I was on MSK last night and we were talking a little bit about One Piece, and it was just because someone in the chat said he hated the live action. And I said, I love the live action because it brought so many people back. It brought so many people to the anime, to the manga, to the world. But there are very important moments in the original characters' lives when they're interacting with each other, when they're first meeting each other, that I think made a huge difference in why we believe the crew is gelled the way it is, why we believe that the crew trusts each other the way they do, that almost every single one of them was missing from the live action. We never saw Usopp prove that he was actually brave, that he would go against his base fear to protect someone else. No matter how cowardly he would go against that to protect someone else. We didn't actually get to see that. Like we do.
I would argue against that. I would argue that you did see that because you saw that at the end when he decided to take on all the crazy bastards that were trying to kill Homegirl, because he crawled through her window specifically saying that he was going to stay there and protect, even though she was trying to kick him out the entire time.
It's not the same as watching him be cowardly and then watching him get the living crap kicked out of him by adult male pirates and making him like truly feel like a cowardly craven worm.
Yeah.
And then they turn on her and suddenly the worm becomes a man.
Yeah. I get what you're saying on that.
There were certain scenes between Zoro and Luffy when they're first meeting, when Zoro's tied up, and certain things that you understand why Zoro will follow him immediately.
Right.
And because there was nothing with Jin, we got nothing from Baratier to show us that Sanji has one of the strongest loyalties and the most honor of anyone in the whole freaking show. And he's the pervert.
Oh yeah, Sanji with all that. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I am glad they toned that down a bit.
I'm not saying it was bad. I'm just saying there's things that I think that people who, especially people who really love the manga, the people who read it over and over again, who like wish they could live in this world, those moments were so important that not having them made the live action hard for them to accept. I can accept it because so many people that I wanted to get interested in One Piece and I couldn't got interested through the live action. So I will always be grateful for that. But I do hope that if season 2 goes well and it keeps being popular, that they'll give them enough money and enough time to start pulling things out a little bit more so we can get those important moments. That's all.
Well, I think considering everything I've heard from like Oda, and well, from Netflix and everything else. I mean, basically Oda's got a blank check to do whatever the hell he wants at Netflix now. Is essentially what it sounds like from everything we've heard announced, because the first season of it was that successful. And it's one of them situations where you've literally this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is what any adaptation is supposed to do. And this is what the One Piece live action did. It's supposed to make you interested in the source material.
Yep.
Right. And so I'm one of those people who never watched One Piece before. The anime was going to be this giant daunting task for me because there's so many episodes. I'm like, fuck that. I'm never even going to bother. And then I absolutely loved the live action, and so I dove right into it. And I'm like 800 episodes or some nonsense like that into the anime, which I know isn't barely scratching the surface.
I wasn't going to say a word. I was going to say, I'm actually really impressed. You made it to 800 with the kids and the job and the house and the move. I'm like, that's good, actually.
Well, it's been since last year. I've had well over a year and a half to get that far. And I had to take a little bit of a break because I love it. And maybe it'd be easier if I was reading the manga because, man, just my biggest complaint about some animes is like that the battle sequences just go on for way too damn long. Like when I have a 5-episode battle sequence where almost nothing happens, but it's just a bunch of conversation between the two guys, I'm like, I get really old. And so like one of the ones that I've gotten into recently that's really, really good, and I keep meaning to talk about this more, is Black Clover.
I love Black Clover. Oh, I love Black Clover.
I love Black Clover. It's everything I love about One Piece, except the main character is an annoying idiot. And don't get me wrong, I love Luffy, but he does a lot of really dumb shit where you're like, why did you do that? It's not anywhere near to the extent that Luffy does. It's not even close. Asta does some dumb shit because he's a musclehead and goes in with his head first. Luffy does dumb shit all the time that eventually causes the entire crew to end up in the middle of a bunch of bullshit they didn't need to be in the middle of. Okay, and yeah, it works great for advancing the story and stuff like that, but like, no, dude. And once again, that's one of my biggest complaints about One Piece. The 6-episode freaking battles, it lasts half a season. And I'm like, no, it's like you got Black Clover. It's like 3-4 episodes, maybe. And that's only if you're facing big bosses and then new bosses come in after you defeated the first round of bosses.
The demon arc, that battle took like freaking 40 chapters.
Oh, well, I don't know. I'm already into the 4th season of Black Clover. So I don't know. I'm almost to the end of what they've got. And I burned through that one. I have no problem watching those episodes one after another. No, you like it. You like Black Clover if you haven't watched it.
I mean, I watched several seasons of it, and I was just like, I'm sick of this, so I'm quit.
Wow, I love it. I'm addicted to the damn show.
Not giving up is my magic.
No, man, I'm watching Kaiju number 8 right now. That's the shit.
I love it. This is the only time I heard this much praise for an anime adaptation was when Speed Racer came out. There you go, Mouse.
Well, that's because almost every other adaptation was cringe to be polite.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Well, that's not true. There have been a couple live action movies made by the Japanese that have actually not been too bad.
Yeah.
They're not great, but they're not too bad. And
the Japanese has made some really shitty ones too. It's not just the Americans that have made bad ones.
Absolutely.
Yes.
But I'll watch anything with McKenna in it now.
There you go. All right. Well, boys and girls, since our dear sweet Mrs. Ma'am is a Rumble exclusive, we're going to do something that we haven't done in a while. We're going to do a little bonus time, Rumble exclusive. So basically, now that we're back on YouTube, there's certain things that I used to love to scream when we got on to Rumble exclusively. And well, that's some stuff we're probably going to bring back this evening. Also, we're going to save all of our memes for Rumble as well. So boys and girls, if you're part of the Discord or if you're over there on the social media platforms, you want to drop some memes below the tweet out there, all of those are options. So boys and girls, we're going to go Rumble exclusive here in just a few minutes. So if you haven't already, check out the link. I dropped it earlier in the chat to all of anybody that's over on the YouTube side of things. You can go join us over on Rumble. Kick is perfectly safe as well. Kick, we can get away with whatever we want over there as well. And the rest of the social media platforms that we might be on, we don't fucking care about. So they can fucking do whatever they want. Rumble's really the only one we're concerned about primarily. Anyway, so if you guys want to come over there and hang out, we'll let Mrs. Ma'am give us all of her wonderful hot takes and say all the derogatory things she loves to say on her own channel, as well as all of my hot takes as well. Does anybody want to give any kind of shout outs or where they can find us before we leave, or is everybody okay with just going to Rumble? It's up to you all.
I'll say goodnight to anyone who's not going to come over, but other than that, I'm good.
There you go. Lots of love. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's been fun over there on the YouTube side of things, but we are going to shut